Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
Believe you me, we're back. What's up, baby boy?
We are back. We apologize. We're a day late this week. I had a very, very big time medical procedure yesterday, so we had to delay the show a little bit, but I apologize. We'll get into that a little bit. How you doing, Lewis? How was your weekend?
My weekend was good. Overall, just been enjoying life, getting out of town every weekend, just trying to live a little bit more, having some drinks. Feeling pretty good overall, Mr. Bisping.
Yeah, okay. The reason I said what did you do at the weekend was because prior to you jumping on the show, obviously we all had to wait around a little bit for you. Harrington was saying he was crying basically. He was making out that you're a bully, a bad training partner. Apparently you guys were doing some sparring at the weekend. And listen, Lewis, you're an undefeated professional mixed martial artist. You're a beast of a man. You are a man amongst men, that alpha male wherever you go.
Fuck yeah,
Harrington on the flip side is your little sycophant. He's your little lapdog. He follows you around with puppy dog eyes. He looks at you. He wants to be like you. He wants to be you. He wants to be on you. He wants to be with you. When this is over, you should definitely get an apartment together, okay? But when he said that you guys were sparring and you took advantage, you were a bad training partner. Harrington told me that he went to the body and you came with a vicious, thundering overhand right, and he is injured.
Yeah. Well, here's what happened. I officially started training very light yesterday. Came back, Diego met me and Harrington in the park. Harrington was like, "Oh, you're training? Can I come?" I was like, "Of course." Because our good friend Jason Ellis from Ellis Mania, he started talking a little bit of shit. Somebody presented the idea of would he fight Luis J. Gomez, and then Jason Ellis was like, "Oh, I'd fucking kill him." And then me, of course, I just have a big mouth and I can't not talk shit back. So we started going back and forth. This could happen. This is obviously months out, but me versus Jason Ellis Mania 20 could happen. You guys thought I was annoying when I was fighting Ryan O'Neal, who was a string bean fucking comedian with a black belt in Taekwondo from a fucking shopping center. Jason Ellis is a fucking...
Jason Ellis what? Don't sit there and make it like Jason Ellis is some straight-up killer. Hey, okay, fair enough, Ryan O'Neal. That was an easy fight, but now I'm stepping up the ranks. I'm stepping up to the big boys. I'm taking on fucking Jason Ellis. Bring up the record of Jason Ellis. Just because he's out of shape but he's covered in tats and he talks with a stupid accent doesn't make him... he's not Israel Adesanya, okay? He's not any kind of UFC level competition, bud.
I don't think it's UFC level, but I would say it's probably a step up for Ryan O'Neal. I think he's 2-0 as a pro. He had 2 pro fights.
Hey, no, listen, I'm joking. Of course, I feel like that's very ballsy of you. There it is. Oh, his first fight was against Tony Giannopoulos. He had a good reputation back in the day. And then next one was Gabe Rivas. It was on King of the Cage, groundbreaking. And he got him in a submission Americana.
At Ellis Mania, he knocked out Gabe Rudiger, former UFC competitor. Which that was the one that was the thing that made me go, fuck. He knocked out a guy who fought in the UFC.
The only person here that sparred with you is Harrington. Harrington, are you on the line? Welcome to the show. If so, talk to us about yesterday's sparring session. Walk us through, the big hits of Luis J. Gomez. I mean, how's he looking this far out? If this fight was to materialize, and don't suck his dick too much, how's our boy looking?
Look, I mean, all I'm going to say is, if this was the Luis J. Gomez that I sparred with 2 years ago, I don't think I'd be walking around with a hurt shoulder, hurt right arm, hurt back, all of it right now. I mean, this man has turned into a killer over the last 2 years.
It's very true. Thank you, Harrington. Harrington, you got a raise.
Harrington, listen, did you not hear the first part of what I said? I said, don't suck his dick too much. Oh, my God. You just make me sick, like a sycophant would. No, you were talking off the air about you got a little injury. You got to go see a doctor, Harrington.
Are you going to see a doctor?
He's saying he's got some kind of issue that you have done. You have damaged him. No health insurance, right? And you're just beating up your employees. Lewis, you got to be careful. That sounds like a lawsuit brewing. But Harrington, please come back to the camera and tell us about your ailments.
Lewis hit me with a pretty hard bomb. All of a sudden, I felt just shooting pain all down my arm to my fingers. I thought I was paralyzed for a second.
He did. Terrifying. He got up and he almost started crying. You saw and I'm not kidding. Like he was like his voice cracked, like he was about to start crying because he thought he was paralyzed. That's the type of power I have, Jason Ellis. So.
Yeah, but that's the type of power you have on Harrington. No disrespect to Harrington, but you're supposed to take it easy.
I did take it easy.
When you look at someone, like when I used to spar people and I'd be in a gym and you go to a new place with a bunch of people, you got the body language, you can read. You just have to take one look at the person and you're like, okay. Now, excuse me. Sometimes, you can't you can't judge a book by its cover, right? Sometimes you look at this person, you think they are going to be very good, and they surprise you. But most of the time, I'm right. And when I pick one of those guys, I take it easy. I give them a little tip-tap-tap it, a little tip-tap-a-roo. I don't go for the knockout. I play with them. I encourage them. I mentor them as I'm sparring. I give them coaching. I go, that's it. Keep your hand up. Yeah, fire back, but not you. You go in. Kill shot. Harrington, number one sycophant, number one yes man, loves you, worships you. Look at you with those puppy dog eyes all the time. And you just go, fuck you, Harrington. I'm the boss. I'm the boss, bitch. Bang.
Yeah, don't fuck with me. Don't cross me. No, here's the problem. Harrington can't fight for shit. I can't fight for shit at all. Harrington really, really, really can't fight. And I swear to God, I was taking it as easy as possible. And then I was like, I remember thinking, let me just try just something different. Because I kept just patting him with little jabs, little body shot. And I was like, I'm going to throw a left to the body. And I'm just going to go left to the body and then a straight right to the face. And just to see if it lands. And God damn it, did it fucking... I didn't throw it with any power. He just walked right into it. I thought I killed him. I was like, shit, dude, it's going to be a problem. Because when I saw the tears welling up in his eyes, I was like, we can't do this anymore.
Never cried. You are a full-blown liar at this point, and I'm off your team. Jason Ellis, 2020.
So, Harrington, you're saying that you have a pinched nerve, to my understanding, and you got to go see a doctor and get it checked on.
No, I've just been, hitting it with some CBD and D freezing point. I'm sure I'll be fine.
Yeah, because I was going to say, don't expect me to feel sorry for it. Here's a man here, a real warrior, guys, that had a long, storied career. And I'm suffering through the injuries in silence. I'm not boring you people with it. Just yesterday morning, this is the reason we couldn't do the show yesterday. I had to have an emergency surgery. I had to have an emergency surgical procedure, should we say. It wasn't a surgery. I have a pinched nerve. I've had that since 2012, it's progressed. It got worse. The last 2 weeks, I've been in so much pain. It was ridiculous. So Friday, they did what was called trigger point. They gave me some injections. Didn't help, unfortunately. Yesterday, I had a cervical epidural injection into the spine. And I thought, in my ignorance, it was just going to be a case of go there, lie in a bed, give me a little numbing agent, give me an injection, and that would be that. But when I get there, they're like, no. I get fully undressed. They tell me I'm going to be under general anesthetic. So I'm going under for this one. All right, whatever. And then I go to the operating room and the guy's there, the anaesthetist. He says, okay, Mike. He said, I've done this procedure on MMA fighters before. And they tend to fight a little bit, as you guys would. He said, I've had people lean back and try and grab the needle, even in their sleep. He said, and we can't have that because we're going to have a big needle in your spine. Anything like that, things can go wrong. Maybe you'll never walk again. Okay, so I'm like, oh, shit, but this is kind of worrying. He said, so what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a high dose of the anesthetic, but I'm also going to dose you up with a healthy kick of ketamine. Okay, and I'm like, ketamine. The party drug ketamine? I'm like, what the fuck? I got a podcast in 2 hours, right? So anyway, they did that. He said, okay, I'm going to give you some vein champagne. He gave me the vein champagne, and then that was that. I woke up about 2 hours later, did not know where the fuck I was, and I was far too groggy to do a podcast, so my apologies.
But so they gave you ketamine while you were out, though, so you didn't get to feel the effects of it.
I got to feel nothing. I was a little drowsy for the rest of the day when I came round. Still managed to get my workout in later because I'm a beast. But yeah, couldn't say I felt, high or anything like that. No.
Yeah, well, I remember one time I had a cyst removed. I had on my eyelid, I had to have a Chalazion cyst removed, and they put me out. Whatever they put me out with, I think it was one of the things they were using for Michael Jackson. It was one of those really propofol.
Yeah, I was going to say propofol,
something like that. Maybe.
I'm sure we are butchering it terrible, but yeah, we're in the right ballpark.
It was awesome. It was awesome, dude, because it put me out, but it didn't put me all the way out. It put me like where I was like slightly awake, but it was like, wow, holy shit. I get why Michael Jackson was regularly asking for that. If that's what it was. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah. You know, I have unfortunately got all too common to that feeling. And there is a certain feeling of euphoria when you come around. You don't know where you are. You don't know what you're saying. And then you think about it afterwards and you laugh about, you know, what I might have been saying to the nurse. Nothing inappropriate before your dirty mind start. Often it's a female nurse there when you come round and you're like, I don't know, he's talking absolute bollocks. And then it takes you an hour or two to come round. But yes, the dose with ketamine. Look at this. I got a little bit range of motion. They said it'll take a few days to kick in. It's like a steroid that they put in there to get rid of the inflammation and whatnot. So yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully that'll be a thing of the past, but we don't want to hear about that. What is it? Propofol. There's Harrington in the notes. Propofol. That's what we said. Propofol. I just like to add in an extra popo. You know,
Yeah.
Popo.
Got another little.
Yeah, why not?
In the
Yeah, a
popo
little
ball.
propo. Fights at the
How's
weekend.
your
Go on.
I was gonna say, how's your biking going?
Oh, biking's going good. Still been doing that. Went on a little bike ride last night.
Fucking better, dude. You got a $5,000 bike.
4,000. Brought Rebecca with me. She went on Ellie's bike that I bought for Ellie when she was about 13. She's 17 now, maybe younger. So it was like a kid's bike, really. And it hasn't been used in like 4 or 5 years. You know what I mean?
This awesome bike with shocks and fucking
my
triggers and
bike's
levers.
sick. I put it on this thing and like it was rusty as fuck, like it's squeaking like crazy because the brakes are rubbing and you can't actually pull the brake handles because they're so stiff. But then when you do, the fucking shitty because it's an old bike, the brake blocks stay intact on the wheel and I'm like, oh fuck. So I had the oil out for a while and I'm re-oiling and whatnot. And then we got up the trail. To be honest, it wasn't that bad. We got up this trail. And then we're coming down, but it's a big downhill on tarmac. So you get a decent speed. And I'm way up ahead. And then it did occur to me. I started looking back as much as my neck would allow me on her because I'm like, fuck, could you imagine? I'm here. I'm on this sick $4,000 bike. And she's on this rusty old piece of shit that's been accumulating rust and dust in the garage for many years. I think it's only been used once or twice. Could you imagine like the brakes break off, get in the spokes, she flies head over fucking heels. She's never done any martial arts in her life, so she doesn't know how to fall or anything like that. But I'm good. I'm good on my big fucking Pimp Daddy bike. So that was a little concerning.
Yeah. I owned one bike for a little while. And it was funny because I was live streaming while I did it. I got a bike from a sponsor they gave it me. It was a really nice bicycle, very lightweight. Like New York City, like you want to have a really lightweight, like 25-pound or 30-pound bike that you bring up and down the stairs. And I was on this bike, dude, and I fucking hit a bump and I just flipped over. And I was like, fuck this, dude. I can't do this. I'm going to hurt myself just being an idiot. You know, that's why I stopped skateboarding as well. I used to skateboard around the city all over the place. And I would fall. And then for a month, now I have like a chip in my elbow. It doesn't hurt or it doesn't feel right. So it's just fucking dangerous. I don't know. I can't do it. New York City is a different beast because you have to worry about cars. You have to worry about everything. You're just going up a fucking hill.
Yeah. Well, listen, I had plenty of accidents when I was a kid on bikes. I had a BMX, but I was, I've never been the best handyman, so to speak. By our house, there's an area called the Cross Hills. And it's a good place with some big jumps on like dirt and stuff. I remember I was going through the air. And as I went through the air, the nuts that hold the front wheel on must have come loose. And I went up this big jump, and as I'm going through the air thinking, yes, I fucking got this, the front wheel falls off the bike. And I'm, oh, shit. And I come down, and the forks just go right into the dirt. And, of course, I face planted and hit the fucking ground with my face pretty hard. I was okay. I dusted it off like the man that I am, Lewis. Didn't bitch about it at all.
That is the worst feeling, just sliding across AstroTurf. That's happened a few times on bikes or just being a fucking kid where you hit the pavement and then it just peels off the skin. And it just sucks.
It's the worst.
There's just no, I mean, look, I'm sure like, there's worse injuries out there. It's just fucking sucks. It's a hot summer day. You start to sweat into it. All like the hot, like dirty rocks are like stuck in your arm or leg.
Yeah. Well, this is look, you're talking about cuts. So you can't see it, but I've got a tiny little cut on my thumb there, and even that cut came from me putting oil on the bike that Rebecca went on because there was like things missing, like a cover on the brakes and stuff, and it cut into my hand. That was pumping out blood. Anyway, there you go. People don't want to hear that. Fights at the weekend. I admit I only saw the co-main event and the main event. I was at a virtual graduation party because of COVID-19 down in San Diego, a Wales vagina. That was a good time. I enjoyed that. Did a bit of axe throwing. Lewis, you ever done axe throwing?
I have not. I saw you hit the target, but I don't know. I gotta be honest with you. I'm just not super impressed. I feel like I've seen so many people on their Instagram doing that, and I'm like, well, if that many people could fucking hit the bullseye with an axe throw, it's probably not that hard.
Lewis, I'm not diminishing your accomplishments here, right? Did I say anything when you talked about Ryan O'Neal? Did I strip him down? No.
Yes.
You said you were going to take. You said you were going to
call the next guy a pussy.
Yeah. I was like, no, this is great. You're stepping up, but now you're going to shit on my accomplishments. Okay, I'm proud of that fucking axe throw. It took me a while. I got the technique down, and boom, I got that. Listen, we're throwing axes out here, baby boy. Don't fucking don't mess with me. I mean, look at this. Look. There it is. Take a step back. Aim. Release. Boom. I'm just saying, if you were my prey, you'd be a dead prey.
I don't think that you'd be able to hit a moving target with that axe.
Well, I could just do what Bryce O'Neal does and just run up to it when it's sleeping and choke it out. But I prefer a little bit of sport when I hunt.
Yeah, I think that if you were able to 100 times stand in the same spot and go, release that, and release, and release. You were able to time it and figure it out. But a moving target, you got to it's different. You got to release it at a different time.
One step at a time, baby boy. Listen, Rome wasn't built in a day. Today, I'm targeting on bison from a distance that are herding, grazing in the pasture. Okay, I need to take down a bison. I'll go for the smaller, lesser prey down the line when I hone my skills a little bit more. But
I think a bison would also be a difficult animal to take out with that little axe.
A fucking tomahawk. All right, but there's 6 of us. I have 6 tomahawk. One to stun it, one take it down, and then another one. And then by the end of it, it's like, why me?
You're just beating it with the blunt end. You're like, fucking die.
Fucking die. Stomping on its fucking head. Just
remember
kidding,
Me, Myself, and Irene?
Yeah, which bit?
Where the cow is in the road and he gets out and he's like, oh, it's so fucking one of the funniest scenes ever as a kid. I remember watching it, and he gets out and he's like, oh, this cow. It's we got to put it out of its misery. Then he shoots the cow in the head. The guy's like,
yeah.
Woo! And he shoots it again. And keeps on moving. And he starts beating it with the gun. It's so fucking funny.
I never used to like that movie when it first came out, but then I saw it again recently. Yeah, it is pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
Mike, really quick, Father's Day is just around the corner. It is coming up on Sunday, actually. We're both dads. I got to be honest with you. I wish that my kid had the mental capacity or money to get me a Ridge wallet, which in my opinion is the absolute perfect Father's Day gift.
I just simply wish that my kids gave a damn about me enough to want to buy me a present, whether it be a Ridge wallet, whatever the gift. Yes, a Ridge wallet would be nice, but none of that. I swear, I guarantee my children don't even know that it's Father's Day on Sunday. But if you're listening to this show, and you love your parents, you love your father, your mother, maybe even your boyfriend, your brother, you just love somebody that needs a wallet, then we have a great deal for you and one of the best wallets you can find.
I hate to cut you off, Bisping.
I'm not going to get straight into the deal. I was just going to tell them about the wallet, but please go ahead. Go ahead. You did cut me off, but I want to hear if it was good.
It's important. I got to say, because you said something and it just wasn't completely correct. You don't need a new wallet, okay? Now, this isn't for anybody who needs a new wallet. That old clunky wallet, it's been sitting in your back pocket for a long time. You probably think, oh, I don't need a new wallet. But let me tell you something. Once you check out the difference between Ridge wallet and what you have, you are going to realize that you've been lacking this entire time.
Yeah, and you're going to find out why over 30,000 people have left a 5-star review on review websites, okay? Whether that's iTunes or Ridge.com. Various 30,000 5-star reviews. And guess what? If you do decide to, take a dabble, to take advantage of our delightful and very, very generous offer, you're also going to get a lifetime money-back guarantee. First of all, if you don't like it, send it back, and then you get a lifetime warranty. Listen, the Ridge wallet is a super minimalistic front pocket wallet. You can slide in your cash, you slide in your cards. It stops you from accumulating. It stops you from accumulating all that garbage in your wallet, like receipts and I don't know, whatever crap. We always end up with some stuff. Pictures of your kids, the kids that don't even buy you presents on Father's Day. You don't need them in your wallet anymore. Get rid of them.
Your cell phone now. Why do you need pictures of your kids, you weird boomer?
Yeah, that is just weird. I mean, who would have pictures of their kids in their wallet? So listen, if you want to look like a father that doesn't have pictures of their kids in their wallet, but you look smart, you look futuristic, you look lean, you look mean, you look good in those skinny jeans that you're wearing. Lean, mean, while wearing skinny jeans. Here's the offer that you got to listen to me. That's right. Go to Ridge.com. Ridge.com. Use the promo code BYM. Use the promo code BYM. Bring the beat back. Yeah. As I was saying, Lewis, I ain't playing. Go to Ridge.com/BYM. I'm going to fucking tell you again. And that's right. Kill.
They should pay us extra for this.
Oh,
they
my
really
God.
should.
Yeah, anyway, listen, in all seriousness, go to Ridge.com, Ridge.com/BYM, and you will get 10% off your first order. There you go. You're welcome. All right. What were we talking about? All right. So what are we going to talk about in the world of mixed martial arts? We do have Darren Till joining us in about just under an hour, I believe. Supposedly, Darren's a bit of a nightmare to pin down. He's very, very funny on Instagram. He's also a little bit aloof at responding to the DMs on Instagram. Just kidding, Darren. It's my fault more than anything. Let's just start with this, because this is pretty funny before we get into anything too meaty or serious. Point number 4 on the notes. And Harrington, maybe you can shed a little light, because the note that Harrington says, and I do remember hearing about this maybe 10 days ago, maybe last week. Jeff Nowitzki, he obviously head ups the USADA program for the UFC. Jeff Nowitzki has yet again made a call for USADA to up the testing threshold, therefore making it not quite strict, after 2 non-MMA female athletes failed test due to having sex with someone who had banned substances in them. Basically, they're saying they had unprotected sex with somebody that was on steroids, and therefore they contracted the steroids through the bodily fluids when the person was penetrating, right? They must have been on some serious amounts of Bluetooth for that, because I'm telling you, I don't know. Would they say?
I don't know the science, but Jeff Nowitzki knows the science, right?
I'm just saying that's a lot of that's a fair bit of science. That's a stretch. I mean,
well, here's the thing. If it got to the point where Jeff Nowitzki is recommending them to change it, and this is not, it's not like he's biased. These are non-MMA athletes, right? So this doesn't even affect the UFC or mixed martial arts in general, but that's a red flag. You're like, holy shit. I mean, that there has to be something changed, or there has to be something, because that's not a problem. But how much steroids was this person using that his jizz is just fucking rife with it?
And who was fucking Vitor Belfort? I thought Vitor Belfort was a married man with kids.
Well, this is it. You've been calling him a cheat the whole time. He was actually being anally penetrated by somebody who was using steroids, probably at a competition.
There you go. I never thought of that. So he was innocent.
Never even cheated.
Oh, baby boy, I never realized. The poor guy. So he was the victim in this scenario.
Well, no, he was having a good time. He wasn't a victim. He was having a good time with his buddy.
He was having a good-ass time. Harrington, give us some details, shed some light on this story, give us some names, etc., etc.
Okay, so basically USADA found 2 athletes, boxer Virginia Fuchs and softball player Madeline Nichols. They came out and said they're not at fault because they both test positive for banned substances.
Harrington, I'm sorry. I know we always do this, and it's like a recurring bit where we stop him and trash him.
Well, hold on, you do. You stop him and trash him. I'd like to say the camera angle's terrible.
That's what I was going to say.
But I was going to say, but so far I have no other issue.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, just fuck, you see the way we're framed? Me and Bisping make sure we're framed the same way every week. It's a whole thing we do. And then Harrington is fucking just with all the headspace above him. It's awful. Anyway, that was it.
Okay.
Come on, then.
All right. The organization, God damn it. All right. They both test positive for banned substances as a result of sexual transmission. This is a report from John Morgan of MMA Junkie. Jeff Nowitzki then hopped on it and said, yeah, that's exactly why the UFC upped their protocols, and we're calling for all commissions to do the same. They have a lot of encouraging discussions recently with commissions, including the Nevada State Athletic Commission, as far as upping those protocols go. So we have less of these false positives, which are holding out athletes for 6 months to a year while they sort it out.
Hold on. A volleyball player, and what was the other one?
A softball player
And
and
a boxer.
All right, the boxer, fair play, but softball, come on, it's not even a sport. Why are they testing softball players to that extremity where they could test positive just by having sex with somebody that had performance-enhancing drugs? And again, I want to know who this guy is. This man is offering quite the service. You know how expensive performance-enhancing drugs are?
Yeah, he's just injecting them into you without your knowledge, just giving them away.
Hold on. So is he like purposely, like maybe he could be up on charges? You know, he's infecting people with performance enhancing drugs. Have we ever thought about that?
Maybe. I don't know. Remember like the after schools like specials? They would be. Did you have that in England?
Well,
you know
hold
what
on.
an after school special is?
I have no idea what that means.
So it's essentially it was like a little short half-hour program. It would come on after school a lot of time on like some channel like PBS or whatever, and it would be like, don't do drugs, and there'd be a little story, or like don't have unprotected sex, and there's a little story. But a lot of them, the whole story would be like the kid after school would be like, hey, here's these drugs, first one's on me, to like get you hooked. And it's like, that shit never happened. Where's this fucking guy giving out free drugs? I want to find that guy.
He's on that beach in Puerto Rico.
In Mexico.
Mexico that you were talking about. We had something similar. You know, obviously we had the Just Say No campaign, which sounds, like something similar. But that's got to be the most creative answer I've ever seen. You know, USADA approaches them, hey, you tested positive. Oh, yeah, that's right. I had unprotected sex with a guy that was jacked to bits. His shoulders, his deltoids were award-winning. You know, he had shoulders on him like Luis J. Gomez.
She had a fucking blast. That girl, she had a great time. You know about that. He's all jacked up. Well, actually, but then he's got a little nuts, right?
Probably, yeah. They do say it does that to you. I wouldn't know. All natural, baby. But, there's been a lot of talk of that recently. They do a lot of talk of upping the testing threshold, because I don't know the science behind it, but by all accounts, it's so microscopic now, the tiniest little amount. So Sugar Sean O'Malley, he's a guy that really fell to it a few times, right? They tested for like absolute trace levels of ostarine, which could have been cross-contaminated from a supplement. I don't know. Anyway, it got into his system, and then they said now at the end of it, okay, maybe we were a little too strict. So I've always had a dim view, but now it's starting to get to the point where you're going to maybe give them the benefit of the doubt, especially if it comes down to a point where just having sex with somebody means you can get ingested with, the steroids, contaminated part of it.
I think it's smarter to stay ahead of it, right, and preemptively. But do you really buy that these girls tested positive because they had sex with a guy? And I don't know. I just hear that and I go like, really? But maybe it's just a different time now. I mean, there's so many athletes now, and there's so much. And honestly, with USADA coming in, it did seem like USADA, they started popping everybody. But if their standards are that much more strict, we probably did see a lot more false positives.
Well, the only way, I don't know the facts, right? But if Jeff Nowitzki, and there's a story out there and they say, yeah, that's a possibility. If they're saying it's legit a possibility, which it sounds like they are, the science backs that up, then I guess they got to do something, because you can't go out. They always say you got to be aware of what you put inside your body, right? Therefore it's on you. If you take a supplement that's not on our approved list and you test positive, that's on you. But there's no approved list for sexual partners. You know what I mean? There's no way of saying someone, hey, can you just pee in a cup before we do this? I need you to give me I need to see what your testosterone levels are at, please, before we do this. I suppose in the perfect world, they want the testosterone levels through the roof. So they're fucked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I would love to find out what that is, but that is the first time that I've ever heard of this.
It's a bit of a stretch. I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's honest. I can't imagine they need to take performance-enhancing drugs in softball, though, which is essentially just baseball with Under Armour. Am I correct?
It's a bigger ball. But
yeah.
People really fucking dig. I don't know.
In England, we call it rounders.
I think they should be able to just take, if it's a non-contact sport, who really gives a shit if they're taking steroids?
Well, no, that's wrong, because like professional sports like baseball, there's a lot of money on the line. If guys are taking performance-enhancing drugs, therefore they can swing harder, they can throw the ball harder. I know what you're saying. So you're saying that everybody can take it. But then therefore, again, that goes against the essence of it being man versus man. That's what it's supposed to be. Not who has the best doctor, not who has the most money and the access to the best drugs. It's supposed to be who can get their body with their precision, the mind-body coordination, the natural strength and explosiveness through hard work, determination, getting out of bed, going to the practice field, going to the gym, whatever it is, and making the gains that way. That's what sport's all about. I understand what you're saying. No one's going to get hurt, but still, it's supposed to be human being against human being.
I think that there is an opportunity for, what about having we've talked about this before in MMA as well, but like having a separate league where they can do that. I mean, just think about that. Think about how, like, if two guys were able to come in and just juice to the fucking gills and compete in like a super heavyweight league on an Indian reservation somewhere, just fucking, I don't know. I think that's interesting. I think that's kind of fun. How much of an athlete can science build?
Well, that is interesting. I would like to point out we did have something similar back in the day. It was called Pride Fighting Championships. You know what I mean? They had that. They didn't give a fuck. They had Bob Sapp, Crow Cop. All those guys were juiced out of their fucking minds and smacking the shit out of each other. And it was great. It was a lot of fun to watch. The problem is you can't build a sport like that. The WWE, they're obviously, highly fueled off steroids and whatnot, but it's not a proper sport.
Are they still? Or I think they really cracked down on it, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really watch it. Oh, really? They did?
Yeah, they got in trouble in the 80s. Like Vince McMahon, back when I was a kid, I was a big pro wrestling fan. So in the 90s, maybe right around the time of the baseball stuff, or maybe even before, he was like in court, like fucking having to testify. They were saying that he was like pumping his athletes full of steroids, and he was guaranteed he was pumping his athletes full of steroids. But it was,
hold on, define pumping his athletes, the old-fashioned way or this new way that came about with the softball players?
Oh yeah, he was really injecting these steroids directly into them. He was penetrating the
steroids into them, whether they liked it or not.
But yeah, he got into a lot of trouble, and my understanding,
as one would, you go injecting people with, in that fashion. It's called rape.
Harrington, you could probably shed some light on it more because I know you're a little bit more of a nerd. But I think they changed that. Right now, they test regularly. It's sort of something that they've been open about.
Yeah, they do have what's called a wellness policy for all of their full-time stars, but part-timers like, Brock Lesnar, let's say, or John Cena, some of the guys who only show up every now and then, they're not held to the same, requirements as far as that goes.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. Look, by the way, The Rock, nobody's going to tell me The Rock is all natural. I don't give a fuck. You cannot get that big by being natural. It's impossible. And good for him. Give me some of what he's got.
Hey, listen, fair play. I mean, listen, The Rock, of course he is, right? I don't know what his stack is, but he's clearly taking a lot of substances, but he's not competing in a sport. He's an actor. He's a movie star. He's an action star. He's fucking awesome. I couldn't care less. He's not hurting anybody, and good for him. And let me tell you, you don't get to look like that without extreme discipline as well. I mean, steroids do help. Steroids do help. Of course they do, but you have to have a work ethic. Like I know a lot of guys that lift weights, they compete in bodybuilding competitions. They're in the gym every day at 4:30 fucking a.m. Their diets are ridiculous. I mean, if you look at The Rock, I saw something recently about his eating regimen. He gets up at 4:30 every day. He's eating fucking massive amounts of calories. Then he hits the gym. Then he goes and he's on movie sets all day. Then he finishes, regardless of whatever time it is, hits the gym again. It's a lifestyle, and it's a hard lifestyle.
A mental thing that you have to have in you to have that work ethic, to go work out for 4 or 5 hours at a time. I mean, this is why you see, you're an athlete. You did this literally for your life. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do it. And you can take all the steroids all you want. Not everybody has that type of mentality to get up, that type of discipline. But I will tell you, it probably does help.
It certainly helps, and it'll help with your energy, and it'll help with your recovery levels, right? So you're not as sore the next day. But then after a while, if you're lifting weights a lot or training in whatever kind of sport it is, if you're doing it a lot, the recovery, the soreness kind of diminishes. It's like when, I will get around to going back and lifting leg weights. This this week is the week. You know, I had surgery recently. I'm going to start doing squats. After I do them for the first 3 days, it's going to fucking kill. And then I'm going to lift squats again.
I like that feeling though. Like the burning of the sore muscles, the new workout feeling.
Yeah, I like it. I just don't like having to collapse onto the toilet when I take a dump. I like to lower myself on with a bit of grace. Okay. But we've all been there. I'm like, it hurts. I just got to fall. I'm going to break that fucking new bidet I've got. But then after a while, your body gets used to it and it doesn't hurt as much. But still, you know, I mean, in any sport, I mean, to be honest, just back to your point, you've got to want it, right? You've got to want whatever that is going to give you. And if you're like The Rock and you're his whole now, and again, I'm talking about The Rock like I fucking know him, I don't. This is a lot of assumption. But, you know, his identity is being the insanely fucking jacked, you know, fucking looks like he's sculpted out of granite.
Motivating. I go to his Instagram and I get motivated.
No, sure, but if he's got a movie coming up, which he does, he works so hard, it's movie after movie after movie, so he can't slip. Like, I'm trying to work on some movies, but as soon as I get a green light that one of them is going, boom, I'm going to be in the fucking gym twice a day, guaranteed every day, watching my diet because, you know, if there's a movie, hopefully we're going to work, and one of the opening scenes, I'm going to be fucking getting tortured in a torture chamber with my shirt off like this, looking all steamy-eyed and misty.
Well, luckily, that's but it's very easy to be look in shape with that move right there.
No,
Arms
it's
up.
not. Like this, like, ooh.
Oh, no. Arms up is the best. You're sitting down. If you were sitting in a chair with your arms behind you, then it would be fucked.
Well, the guy that I'm going to do this scene with, he sent me a picture of him already. He had like a 15-pack or a 16-pack. It's going to be a multiple of 2. And I'm like, what the fuck? Make sure I get plenty of notice. But to my point, that when it's done, you know, when you have a goal to train for, then you get motivated. As of right now, okay. I went and did my weights this morning. I'll go on a little bike ride later. But that's just me for general wellness, general well-being, and not wanting to be a fat cunt. And I like to exercise anyway. I like the feeling it gives me. But when you've got a goal, when you've got something to train for, like you're going to have soon with Jason Ellis, when you've got a movie part, whatever it is, you've got a target. Let's say you're massively overweight and you want to drop some pounds, right, and get fitter and be able to have more energy with your kids, then that gives you a goal. Then you're motivated. Then you're fucking doing it. You're not just doing it. Well, then it's like
a byproduct of that goal, right? So whatever it is, a movie, you got to be in shape to be a superhero. The Rock, but you know, he's got to be. That's part of his thing as well. He's getting booked because he's fucking jacked. He's got to look as good as possible. Whatever, being in fight shape, being prepared for a fight. A byproduct of that is going to be just being in incredible shape. You know, you have to be there in order to go 3 rounds in a fight. You have to be in really, really great shape. So yeah, and for me, I need that type of thing as well. It's fucked up. I wish I was 21 years old because I would do it just for the fun of doing it and getting in shape. And it is a lot of fun. I'm just an old man. Eventually, my body's going to fall apart. And I'm not going to be able to do shit like this anymore. But you know, I was thinking this because you were talking about steroids and sort of like what it does for your body. Like I take the pre-workout stuff, Naked Nutrition stuff.
Oh, dude, the amino energy is the best. It is the best. Use code Bisping for 15% off, everybody, by the way. Just saying. Go to nkdnutrition.com.
When I take this, I have to work out. I have to burn off the energy because I feel like an energy burst. More so when I would take like the shittier ones, like the ones that were like the over-the-counter, like
you feel like you're on crack and your forehead's tingling and you're like, I want this to stop.
It's bright neon colored and you're like, what the fuck? Why am I drinking neon colored sludge right now? You shrug it down and then you have to burn off that energy. So I'm assuming steroids is sort of like that. If you take steroids, like you have to go do something with that energy, otherwise you'll fucking punch a hole in the wall.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I don't know. I mean, I can't speak from what experience. Jesus Christ, couldn't get my words out. One of the best things you need for working out, though, in my opinion, is a workout partner. If you got someone that you work out with, it makes it so much better. Like most mornings now, because of COVID, Callum's not at college. He's here. Me and Callum go in the garage.
I'm so jealous.
We have a great workout in the garage. We really do. That's morning,
a fucking bonding experience with your kid. That's how incredible is that you get to like. You know, there's nothing more manly than throwing around some weights with your boy, talking about life, talking about his girlfriend. It's cool.
It's great. It's great. But as I was going to say, this morning he's down at the DMV. He's only had a car in the driveway for over 2 years, and now he's finally getting to the DMV to take his license. But so I was lifting weights by myself, nowhere near as motivated, couldn't be bothered, and finished the workout a little bit earlier. Do you know what I mean? Number one, I thought we had a podcast. Had I known Lewis would be late, then I would have finished that final set, but whatever.
I mean, it's a fucking liar. He said 305. He said 305. 306. He's like, baby boy, where you at?
307. I was like, where are you at? Anyway, moving on with the notes.
John Jones going back to college. Speaking of college,
should we do that one? Should we do
didn't
that
talk
one?
about it. No, let's talk about it.
All right, Harrington, you put this in the notes about John Jones going back to college. I'm like, what? Harrington, the floor is yours. Give us some info that we can break down.
So John Jones, after winning the junior national college championships in his junior year, decided to transfer to Morrisville State before promptly dropping out to pursue his MMA career, which means he still has 1 year of college eligibility left under NCAA restrictions. He said he has contacted the president of the Iowa Central Community College, where he did wrestled as a younger man, and he's considering going back to college while he waits to figure out whatever's going on with the UFC.
But does he want to go back to college to get his degree, or go back to college to compete in wrestling? Because there's no way. That man is on top of the world of combat sports. There's no fucking way he's going back to college wrestling, that shitty environment, all the young kids with the leotards on, you know what I mean? And he's just going to get hassled for pictures everywhere he goes. If he does, good for him. God bless. You know, I mean, that's pretty, very humble of him to do so. But it's a very... Go on.
I was going to say, what if he gets humbled? I mean, there's probably some hungry killer wrestlers that this is what they do day in, day out. They're 19 years old. Do you think John Jones could go compete with college wrestlers right now in wrestling, being that he's that far removed from that sport? It's a very different sport.
It's a very different sport, but I hate to say it because DC's my boy, but he did take DC down when they fought on both occasions. So I think he'll
DC
do okay
these kids.
yeah, they'll do okay against some college run. But my point is, I've been to these places. I've been to these wrestling tournaments with Callum. You're in a sweaty gym hall. You're surrounded by sweatier kids everywhere. They all stink. They want your picture. It's a long day. You get there at like 7 a.m. sometimes. 7 a.m. You don't get out till 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, for fuck's sake. And then you're waiting all day, and then Callum gets on and he pins him in about 30 seconds. I'm like, for fuck's sake. You could have at least strung it out a little bit, son. It'd be quite the fall from grace. Yeah. I feel like he's only saying that in a negotiation with the UFC. As we know, he's going through a bit of a thing right now, pardon me. He's going through a bit of a thing with the UFC. He wants more money. And the more realistic it seems that he's going to go back to college, I mean, that's just crazy, then you never know. Maybe they'll bend. But I think... here's the thing. I'm seeing it. Alexander Gustafsson, he's coming out of retirement soon. He's going to be facing, what's his name? Fabrizio Verdum very soon in Fight Island.
He's come back as heavyweight.
He's coming back as heavyweight, taking up Fabrizio Verdum.
I did not know this. Why don't we talk about that?
No, well, we are right now. I've transitioned to it.
Wow. That's why you're the best transition guy in the game.
I've got a fucking trophy for it. It's true somewhere. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah, Fabrizio Verdum and Alexander Gustafsson are going to fight. The point I was going to say with John Jones is talking about retiring and all the rest of it, unless they opt out of the USADA testing pool, I'm not convinced. You know what I mean? Because they're still there. Like for me, when I retired, first thing I did, I think I've said this before, Hunter Campbell called me. He said, Mike, we still got you down in the USADA testing pool. Do you want in or out of that? I said, take me out. He's like, Mike, are you sure? If we take you out of that testing pool, you know, you're going to have to clear 6 months of testing before you can compete again. I was like, yeah, that's the reason I want you to take me out, because I don't want to get tempted by a short notice replacement fight and it's a quick payday at 205 or whatever. So I did that. And unless Jones does that, or unless Gustafsson or Amanda Nunes is talking about retirement, until they actually do that, they've definitely still got 1 foot left in the game.
I don't think John Jones is saying he's going to go back to college. I don't think it's even that deliberate. I think it's John Jones likes to talk. And he probably that day was thinking, like, yeah, I like to go back to college. And he got caught up in a moment and said it somewhere on something, right? And it's probably won't come to fruition. I don't even know if he thought about it that much. I think John Jones regularly just yaps. We yap. You know, how many times have we're coming to England soon, guys. You'll see us live.
Yapping right now. We're yapping all the time. We're making this as we go along. Do you know what I mean? Harrington, bless him, does some notes. We glance at it. We go, yeah, okay, let's just yap. And if we get stuck, I'll look at the notes, you know. So, yeah, listen.
We're yappers. John Jones is a yapper. John yaps. So he will just...
No. John talks shit on Twitter. You talk so much bollocks on Twitter. It's crazy. I feel like I'm a little more reserved on Twitter. I don't yap as much.
Michael Bisping in real life is a fucking psychopath and a fucking he's a dude's dude. On fucking from Twitter, you think it's a kitten that's running his account. Holy shit.
Wow. I'm offended. I'm actually offended. Wow. That's what you think of me. That's what you think of my Twitter account. This is the conversations that go on when I'm not around. You're like, God, look, there he is. Michael Pussyhole Bisping at it again with his SJW fucking comments. Oh, my God.
We all think it.
Nah, well, good for you. Good for you. No, just talking about Amanda Nunes there. I tried to transition. You didn't get it. You went straight back to the John Jones. This is why I'm the master of segueing. Once you segue forward. You don't segue back. You don't flip-flop. You don't yo-yo. It's not a roller coaster of segues, okay? It goes up. The segue goes down. That's it. There's no reversing this, baby boy.
You zig when you should zag sometimes. I zig when I should zag. It's a little bit of a thing. You got to understand. I like to keep people guessing. You're incredible. You're the king of segues. I will tell you right now, he's the king of segues, everyone. There's not even
I'm a pussy on Twitter. That's what you're saying?
You're a little bit of a pussycat on Twitter. It's okay. I'm not hating.
Listen, when you have a large following, Lewis, maybe you'll just tone it down a little bit. You know what I mean?
No way.
Until that day.
I can't delete all my old tweets. It's too late.
Oh God. Could you imagine if you did that? Do you think people would still find them, like the potential? When did you start your Twitter?
2011, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 2009.
I'm assuming I'm assuming you've calmed it down for when you first got on there in this modern world.
Not really, because I always like what I looked at Twitter as, and I've always looked at it this way. It's the public. So like a show like Legion of Skanks, where we're very offensive on purpose. We try to say the most offensive things on purpose, right? People are coming there for that reason. They know what it is. It's like the roast. If you watch a Comedy Central roast, they say crazy shit on these roasts, but you know what the format is, and you know that's the idea. On Twitter, it's like screaming crazy words into a parking lot or into a mall. You know what I'm saying? Like Twitter, anybody can see it. It's not like people showed up for you. Somebody retweets and now you're in somebody's face saying crazy, offensive shit. So I try to sort of use that gauge. And I've never been suspended for Twitter for shit that I've said. Like I think I'm pretty mild. I'll just go at people on Twitter. I think that's really what you're talking about. But yeah, I think that, did you see that Howard Stern got in trouble?
Yes, I did. I was just thinking, did we talk about this for his use of blackface? I think back in the day, I did see that. Like obviously, I'm an avid Howard Stern fan, so when I saw this, I looked into it. But go on, explain for the listeners.
So yeah, Howard Stern essentially, 30 years ago, it was a free-for-all. This is FM radio, by the way. This is the crazy part. This wasn't podcasting. This is FM radio back in the day, and one of the things was on like a pay-per-view. No.
Yeah, I'm going to say it was a pay-per-view special, right?
Well, a lot of the him using the N-word was on the radio show, and so they had a bunch of clips. There's a whole compilation that came out, and there's probably 1,000 hours of him doing shit like that from back in the day. And he was sort of making fun of Ted Danson, I guess. When he was doing blackface, he was making fun of Ted Danson doing blackface on this special that he did. But regardless, he also did a bunch of prosthetics and blackface characters. He was a shock jock in the 80s. And he came under fire, and they found this, and they tried to cancel him for it. And he responded. Did you hear what he said when he responded?
I think I did, but just remind me and tell the listeners.
I mean, I'm going to paraphrase, obviously, because I don't have the quote. If you want to try to find the quote, Brian, in the meantime, you can. But he was just like, look, this is, who I was. This is, shit that I did back then. And would I do it again now? Probably not. But, I'm not going to sit here and he didn't apologize. He didn't come out and grovel. And I was very surprised that he didn't. I thought he was going to come out and fucking bend the knee. And he just said, yeah, look, I say crazy shit. This is what I did, and I don't do that anymore. So what do you want me to say?
And you know why that is. And again, I'm not trying to be negative towards Howard Stern and say that he's not sorry, because I'm sure he is sorry, right? I'm sure he empathized. Yeah, no, but I think he's 66, but I'm sure he didn't mean to cause anybody any offense. And I'm sure, and again, I'm speaking for him, if he did cause anybody offense, he's very sorry to that. But also, he recognizes that was 30 years ago. The climate was different, and what was allowed was very different. And also, on top of that, right? You can't cancel fucking Howard Stern.
He's
right?
too big.
You want to cancel Howard Stern? Goodbye, SiriusXM. Right? Yeah. They've got something like 40 million subscribers a month, and they pay stupid fucking money, and they do commercials. SiriusXM. That's the whole point of your fucking service. It's radio without commercials. But even on our rinky-dink show, we were doing commercials, and we never got a cut of that revenue anyway. Anyway.
Gas Digital, by the way, when you scrub to Gas Digital, it's all ad-free, baby boys. Look at that.
No,
and it's not Sirius XM, though. So
Yeah,
never listen to ads when you subscribe.
So my point is that Howard Stern, apologize, don't apologize. No one's canceling him. So he doesn't feel like he's not like, like some of these. And by the way, anyone that has apologized, I'm sure they're doing it for the right reasons. I'm not undermining their apology. I'm not doing that. And they should apologize. Of course, they're the terrible comments. But also there's a little bit of like, fuck, the repercussions. You're trying to do damage control. Yes, they understand that maybe 20, 30 years ago, you could maybe get away with things then, but the culture has developed, and now we know that words can't be used like that. You can't make racial jokes, and certain things are just off limits.
I've made an entire career of making racial jokes, but once again, I package it as that specifically. So, and also I get a little leeway. I am a little bit brown, which helps. But, to be honest with you, it's like, you can't really apologize for jokes. You can't do it. Like, unless you're truly sorry. If you're truly sorry for making a joke, if I hurt somebody's feelings, like, let's say I made a joke, Bisping, you're like,
let's not have this conversation again. We had this last week. We know, we get it. We did. We had this last week. I just want to know if you're going to apologize for making a shit joke. Okay, never mind offensive. If it's bad, you say a joke in a room, no one laughs, and everyone goes, "Ooh, that sucks." Are you going to apologize for that, for wasting my time, wasting my money, which I paid on the entry ticket?
Well, I mean, I might go, "Oh shit, sorry, that one bombed." But that's the I'm not going to go, "Hey guys, I would like to formally apologize for that terrible joke." I misread
because
the room.
that's just I can't even say gay. I'm going to say that's just gay, but I can't even say that.
Yeah, well, now you can cancel Bisping. Now it's over. We got to. I'll leave this and we'll move on. But you got to look up Patrice O'Neal talking about. He was talking about what's the fucking radio guy that got in trouble for saying nappy-headed hose?
Amos.
Don Imus. Yep. And he defended Don Imus, and he broke down how every joke starts off as an idea. Every joke starts off as an idea, and you don't know if it's going to be funny until the people either laugh or don't laugh. So you have to sort of like you can't really fault for somebody for saying a bad joke that misses the mark that might offend somebody, because the whole idea was it was supposed to land and they fucked up. And not everybody's perfect. You fucked up in fights. Your wife fucks up cleaning the house or whatever she does, and fucking
whoa, sexist much.
She doesn't even clean the house. I saw your Mexican maid. All right.
Yeah. Is that what do you mean? She doesn't clean houses. That's way below her. No. She messes up in cleaning the house. She's got more going on than that, Lewis. What do you mean? I mean, what's she doing? She's doing makeup right now. She's got to get that right, okay? She's going to go ride her horses later.
Rebecca Bisping's life rules. If she complains about anything, it's psychotic. I just watch her. She's like, "Hello, I'm just looking beautiful, buying things right now. I'm going to go horseback riding with the kids."
Hey, Liz, you don't know the struggles. She's had to put it with me for 20 years.
That is also true.
She deserves everything she's got. She has put it with me for 20 goddamn years. She deserves a medal. All right, listen. Now that you got that off your chest, Lewis, I'm going to try for the third time. I'm not even going to segue. I'm just going to say pause. We're moving on. Amanda Nunes talking about retirement. I tried to get into it on many occasions. You kept reverting. You kept tiptoeing on the seesaw of segueing. You kept going back, but now we're going forward.
Stretching the topic. The topic. We've talked about nothing for over an hour. This is why I'm a genius podcaster. Stretching.
Okay. 2 to tango, but it's all you. What was I going to say? So Amanda Nunes, do we have the quote, Harrington? If you do, take over whenever the time is right. But I mean, Amanda Nunes, she's contemplating retirement. Obviously, her girlfriend is about to give birth to a baby, so she's going to take some time off, stay at home, be a mom, be a partner. I'm not sure if they're married, be a wife, take some time out from fighting.
I think she is married, and good for her. I mean, it's the greatest thing in the world having a kid. We've talked about it ad nauseum. So that's awesome. But what else does she have to really prove? She has truly cleared out 2 divisions. It's almost like it's just doing it for the paychecks at this point. And if you don't need the money, you just talked about Howard Stern. He has fuck you money, like legitimately could have just rode off into the sunset. Doesn't matter. You can't cancel him. But I'm sure she's done pretty damn well for herself. She's probably the most popular female fighter in the world. Ronda Rousey had that for a long time, but Amanda Nunes has the respect as well behind it. It's already, female MMA is so developed at this point. So there's not much else to do. In a weird way, her being so dominant, it kind of makes those divisions not that exciting. It's like, what else are we going to do? We're going to put her up against another person she's going to absolutely dominate.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at a record here. Last win, Felicia Spencer, Jermaine Durandame, Holly Holm, knockout, Cyborg, knockout, Raquel Pennington, Valentina Shevchenko, Ronda Rousey, Misha Tate, Shevchenko, Sarah McMahon, Shayna Baszler. Then that was her last loss, Kat Zingano. Then she beat Durandame again. She beat Shayla Gaff. And then, but listen, my God, she's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think she's on an 11-fight win streak. And against some absolutely, the best in the business. All legendary opponents, Misha Tate, Rousey, Cyborg, Durandame. I mean, there's not much else to do other than continue to stack the chips, though. You know what I mean? Because she doesn't really take much damage in her fights. I understand. I mean, she's been very busy. She's had a lot of fights, and it is stressful, going from fight camp to fight camp to fight camp. Sometimes you feel that you don't, you're not in control of your own life. There's, because we're still human beings, and we still want to live. We still want to experience things. But when it's fight camp after fight camp, and it's the promotion for every fight, then you got to do the training, then you got to go off for the fights. There's not much time to yourself. And certainly, she's married. She's got a child on the way. She wants to take some time. But I would say, I don't think it's time for her to retire yet. Yes, she has cleaned out the division, both divisions. But she's not really taking much damage at the moment. I'd say continue, have a few more. Maybe take 6 months off, 9 months, maybe a year. But if she did that, she'd have to relinquish one or even both of the belts, which I guess is the problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing because no, she shouldn't retire. Well, it's sort of a crazy thing to say, right? I think somebody should retire. I don't like the idea of retiring on top. That's the fighter's dream.
I know.
I don't.
Let's
like
retire.
It,
No. So what do you want to do? You want to hold on? What's a really shitty scenario to retire in? Maybe get choked out Madison Square Garden. 3 weeks later, fly off to Shanghai and get bingoed. Is that the way you want to retire? Because I want to retire. I
would have probably left the China fight off, but fine, that works as well.
No, listen, that's every fighter's dream, right? To become world champion, defend it a few times and retire. So I just said then.
Can I say from the fans' perspective though, because I feel like it in a weird way, it almost gives you like blue balls because I'm going like, well, no, like she's the best. If she walks away and the next chick has the belt, it's going to be a while before I can consider that next person to be truly the best, and especially with somebody like her where it's like she's so dominant. Like when GSP left, right? And he had that really close fight against Johnny Hendricks. It was like a really, really, he got beat up in that fight. And I remember people were like, oh shit, GSP is sort of falling off. And whether he wasn't motivated, whatever it was. I think that, that made sense when he left it. I didn't feel like, oh my God, because it almost we were like, oh shit, the division's catching up to him. She's so far ahead that it's like, it's going to feel like we've sort of moved back female mixed martial arts. Like the champions aren't as good as there's another person out there that's better than them. Yeah,
but as I said before, especially with the child on the way, they want to take some time, and I totally get it. She's been under a lot of pressure. I mean, those last few fights, all of them, Shevchenko, Misha Tate, Ronda Rousey, Shevchenko, Pennington, Cyborg, Holm, Durandame, Felicia Spencer, all high level, top of the food chain.
Those all championship fights?
I think Misha Tate is where she took the belt. Misha, Ronda, Shev. Anyway, there's a lot. I'm not listing it for a 17th time. But here's what I think. Yeah, if she wants some time out, this is the perfect way to do it. Said, you know what? I'm going to relinquish the belt. I'm not retiring. I'm taking some time. See, what can happen then? They do a mini tournament, however the UFC want to do it, and then somebody else is the champion, right? And they defend the belt or whatever. And then when she comes back, she's got a bona fide challenge, right? Can she come out of retirement or not the retirement, the little vacation, a little mental break from fighting to bond with her child, which is totally fair, right? Then to come back and take that belt again, number one, it gives the audience, the public a little thirst for her to come back. Yeah. And it's a good challenge. Can she come back and pick up right where she left off? And if she could do, it goes down, it will go down in history of by far the best female MMA fighter ever. I can't speak.
I completely agree with you. And I think that that does sort of alleviate the problem that the division is currently in. Right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Let them fight it out with her gone. Let a clear-cut number one contender arise, one to become champion. Then she comes back from her hiatus. That's the word I was looking for. Hiatus, baby. Come back from her hiatus and just kick ass again.
Yeah, I agree. And then, to be honest with you, you sort of create that storyline like, oh, shit, can she come back? Is she the same fighter that she was before? And to be honest with you, when do you know the due date for her baby? You're going to want to take a little time off. You're going to want to not be in a fight camp.
I don't know that, the details of when she's giving birth. You know what I mean? She's a great fighter. I'm a big fan, but I don't discuss due dates.
I'm not mad at you, baby. But let's say she's got, a year minimum almost. If you have a brand new baby, think about what you have to put into being a fighter in fight camp and how, you have to be away from the house hours and hours and hours. She's experienced motherhood for the first time. She's going to want to be around. So a year is, probably the minimum amount of time. And that does make sense. So good luck to her. No matter what, Amanda Nunes is fucking incredible and probably doesn't get the credit she deserves overall. It's not like she's a star that when she walks down the street.
I don't know.
She walked through New York City, she get mobbed. I don't know. I think that
I don't know about mobbed.
Ronda was a fucking bona fide star, and I feel like she's so much better of a fighter, and it's just not the same type of fanfare, whatever it is.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. But, she was the first champion and all the rest of it. And Dana White really got behind her. The promotion really pushed her big time. And she had crossover appeal. Ended up doing all kinds of movies and all types of things. I want to talk about this real fast. Hopefully, Darren Till is a man of his word. Darren Baldyhead Till. Where is it? DC. What are you saying about DC and Rockhold, Harrington? I see it in here. I don't want to bring it up, but I feel like you're trying to stir the pot, talk a little shit, but please go ahead.
A couple fans brought it to my attention, so even if I wanted to avoid this one, I couldn't. DC was on his show with Ariel Helwani yesterday, and he said, he's really excited to get back home to the gym at AKA. He said, unfortunately, some guys won't come in to train with him, namely Luke Rockhold said he won't risk his injured shoulder to train with DC, and he thinks it might have something to do with the fact that he's been pretty chummy with you lately.
Whoa, who thinks that? DC thinks that?
Yeah.
I'm lost for words.
Wow, Bisping. Wow, fucking Yoko Ono, Bisping over here, just breaking up the band.
I mean, that's a stretch. I don't think DC really thinks that. He's just saying that to be funny. I mean, listen, me and DC, I've worked for him for years. Started off at Fox Sports, then for the UFC, and now ESPN. Now we're commentating together, and we have a great time. DC's fucking awesome. He's an awesome human being, great fighter. I wish him the best in his fight. But at the same time, also, we're not like best mates. We're not calling up on each other every day. We're not meeting up for dinners and all that type of stuff. We're not. In fact, the last time Rockhold and DC were together, they all went off on a Friday night. They were trying to invite me out with them, right? They're like, come on, we're coming out for a few drinks. I was like, oh, you want to go up?
DC and Rockhold?
Well, DC is like, come on, we're going out. I got this guy. He's one of my sponsors when we're in Raleigh. And he's like, we're going to go out. With my sponsor. He's, rolls big, yada, yada, yada. We'll have a great time. I was like, yeah, okay. And then who's going to be there? He said, well, me and Rockhold and you. I'm like, nah, not going to happen. Not because I've got any kind of problem, but we're fine. But, a little alcohol goes down the pipe, next minute, maybe
it's either one of two things. It's either you guys become fucking best friends or it's a real problem. It's going to be an extreme. It's going to either way, because that's almost like what happened with Masvidal. Like you and Masvidal fucking hated each other, and then you guys got together, hung out one night, and that was that.
Well, no, listen, it wouldn't be a real fucking problem. It's your bing, bing, bosh. Down he goes again. Do you know what I mean? There ain't no real problem. But the fact of the matter is, on a Friday night before commentary, I'm not looking to go out and get into a fight with Luke Rockhold. Do you know what I mean? It's not the most professional behavior. Anyway, to my point, it's not like we're best mates like that. So I think DC's just having a bit of fun. But if that isn't the case, sorry, that's my dad FaceTiming. If that isn't the case, then... come on, Rockhold, lighten up, buddy. That's one of your best, oldest friends. Come on.
Yeah. Well, Luke does not like you. He's got you really. I don't know what it is. Like, because you even like with Tim Kennedy and Luke, like your attitude is sort of like you're like, what are you gonna do? Water under the bridge. They fucking hate you. You really rub them. I mean, Luke, look, he took his title. Never really.
You know,
Never
I mean,
really
well,
recovered from it.
I don't know. I feel sorry for him in some ways, but anyway, I don't want to dwell on that too long. I was just kind of curious as to what that was, Harrington. I saw it in the notes, and I hadn't seen anything about it. Where should we go on these notes, guys? Darren Till, you got 8 minutes. So we've got 8 minutes to fill till Darren jumps on. Bellator news. Harrington, we don't need Bellator news in here. All right, go on. Play devil's advocate. Give us the Bellator news, Harrington.
Well, it's not actually Bellator news.
It's titled on the notes Bellator news.
No, it's titled Bellator fighter Eduardo Dantas says that he was at, I think it's Nueva Enlau is the gym that Jose Aldo trains at in Brazil. He said that Peter Yan used to come down there all the time. He would spar with them. He would train with them. He's seen Aldo and Yan go live head-to-head, and he said Aldo absolutely eats his lunch every time.
Yeah, but that's training. Who knows how long ago that was, how much Piotr Yan has improved since then. And, you know, that's not surprising to me anyway. To be fair, Aldo, one of the best strikers the UFC's seen or mixed martial arts have seen, certainly in his prime. And honestly, it doesn't really look like he's slowed down either. And Piotr Yan, you know, I mean, he's very good. He's decent. Had a great performance against Uriah Faber. I'd expect that anyway.
Is that breaking some sort of code, right? Because you're not supposed to talk about what goes on in the gym, Bisping. But you can talk about what's happening with other guys at the gym, technically. Is he sort of committing a faux pas?
Yeah, I guess so. He is definitely committing a faux pas there. I mean, you don't tap and tell, as they say. You don't tap and tell unless you do it in a comedy way like I did with Rockhold. You know, I just said, because I was on the TV show, I'm going to tell the story again, I'll keep it quick. I was on a TV show, MMA something in New York, and they went, oh, by the way, before we let you go, Mike, we heard you were sparring with Rockhold. Rockhold was the Strikeforce champion at the time. And they said, how did it go? And I said, well, you shouldn't tap and tell, but let's just put it like this. I'm now the unofficial Strikeforce champion, which I thought was a hilarious line. It got a laugh, and he didn't like it.
Can you clarify? Because now, fuck it, you don't like each other, and you did technically tap and tell, right? He accused you of tapping and telling, and that if he's going to accuse you, please do tell. Give us a breakdown of you versus Rockhold. No, I want to hear it one day.
We're not doing that, but I'll tell you what, who did tap, and I will tell. Callum Bisping. We were wrestling last week. Oh, I tapped his ass all over the place. Tapped him left, Kimura, heel hook,
did he tap you
arm
once?
bar, rear naked choke. No, bro, come on.
Not even once.
Not even once.
He's a long way off.
Although he did go, he claims though, because he had me in some move, and it wasn't close to submission, but he was just putting tremendous pressure on my neck, and I've got a bad neck. I'm like, all right, stop, my neck. He's like, oh, very convenient, Dad. You just gotta stop it when I get it. I'm like, son, there wasn't a position there. You were just like squeezing my head for nothing, and I have a bad neck. In fact, I have neck surgery next week. You know, so maybe go for something else. Yeah, there you go. Fights this weekend, but we'll save that for the second show. Main event, Curtis Blades taking on Alexander Volkov. And then we got, what is the co-main event? The co-main event's good as well. Harrington, anything? Co-main event this weekend? Harrington's not there. He's left the building.
Well,
all right, well, let's talk about the weekend there. Marvin Vettori, did you see that at all? Marvin Vettori, Cole Robinson. We won't get into that, but remember... they were supposed to fight in Jacksonville, Florida a few weeks ago, Vettori and Robertson. Robertson missed weight, I think, by about 5 pounds. And then the fight was called off. Vettori was very upset, came on the show, expressed his anger for the situation. Anyway, they rebooked the fight for this weekend just gone. And then once again, he misses weight. He missed weight for the fight a second time in a row, which is very, very bad. But he wasn't the only person that missed weight. And Harrington, if you're there, please try and bring up some info for me, because I can't Google things while I'm talking. But Jessica Ai versus Cynthia Calvillo, that was the main event of the weekend. And once again, we saw Jessica Ai miss weight, which is kind of funny because when she missed weight, Callum showed me something that she posted on Twitter a while ago where she was giving this big, long speech about, hey, listen, if you agreed to take a fight at a certain weight, it's up to you. It's your responsibility. There's just no excuse for missing weight. And then, of course, she missed weight again on Friday. Then apparently,
how much did she miss by?
But I think she was going to be 4 pounds over, but she did the old DC towel trick. Ooh. She did the arm thing on the towel, and I think she came in at 2 pounds over. Harrington, Are you alive? Harrington, can you shed any light? And yes, there you
Harrington,
are.
can you shed some fat as well?
Oh, come on now. I'm slimming out like crazy, Lewis.
I actually messaged Harrington on Instagram. I'm like, hey, Mike, looking good, looking lean. Keep it up, brother. I see you gotta lift them up, Lewis, not put them down. Lift them up.
Good man. Just to clear up that, a co-main event this weekend is Josh Emmett versus Shane Burgos. Should be a pretty exciting featherweight fight.
Yeah, great fight. Yeah, carry on, please.
So Jessica I missed by 0.25 pounds. Like you said, Cynthia Calvillo actually accused her of doing the as you said, DC tug on the towel. She said she had received a text from Jessica I's coaches that she was going to come in somewhere around the 4 pounds over mark, and was shocked to find out that, when she did get on the scale, it only registered at 1/4 pound over.
And then what about the being proud? She made a controversial statement at the weekend that Paul Felder kind of ripped her a new one. And to be honest, I agree. She came out and said a statement, hey, listen, I'm proud of myself for missing weight by that much. I was so far over at the start of the weekend. The fact that I got so close, I'm proud of myself. Can you just clarify that, Harrington?
Can I before he does that as well, can I just also, devil's advocate here, people, it's not the normal times. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the nutrition, the gym, and women. You got to give women. I hate to sound like a fucking SJW pussy kitten, but you got to give women a little bit more leeway because their bodies are different. It's much harder for them to cut weight than it is for them to cut weight.
No.
Oh, fuck 'em.
My wife is a woman. I hope so. Anyway,
Is she?
And she has zero sympathy for them when that happens. She doesn't buy it whatsoever. I see in the name Darren Till. Darren, are you there, mate? Darren,
can you hear me?
Yes, fatso.
You cheeky cunt. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. My picture's not appearing.
No, I want to see you, mate. I want to see those pearly whites. Come on, sort it out. There he is. How are you, mate? Were you just training?
Yeah, just finished now, mate.
And Darren, just turn your phone sideways if you can. Yeah.
Hey, Darren. Hey, Lewis as well. A few weeks ago, I'm commentating with DC in Vegas, and halfway through the broadcast, a fucking FaceTime comes up from Darren Till. And I'm like, this asshole, I know what he's doing. He's probably watching on TV. Were you or were you not with your mates and said, hey, let's fuck with Bisping here?
Yeah.
You wanker. What's going on, mate? How's everything?
Yeah, Darren, I'm sorry. You got to turn your phone again. It didn't register, so I apologize, dude. There
This
we
way
go.
better, yeah?
Yeah, that's better now.
Better. No, mate, just fucking the grind now, innit, mate? 6 weeks out. You all know what for, do you know what I mean? 6 weeks out, mate. Grinding.
Yeah, well, it's a big one for you. Robert Whittaker, obviously. Yeah. I would think you beat him. It's got to be a title shot next.
Yeah, for sure, mate. So either me or him winner. I know that Israel's fighting Paulo Costa, so it looks like the winner of them and the winner of us fights to sort of unify this division and see who is the real champion. Because that's like, at the moment, I feel like us are the top four. That's what I feel like. Yeah,
well, no, without a doubt, mate. Without a doubt. You were always, obviously, you were a big welter. What's the situation now with the weight? 6 weeks out, where you at?
I'm actually 92.5 kilos. So what do you think? Is that good?
93 is 205. So you're like, what, 204?
204,
204. Yeah, well, you're 6 weeks out. Whenever I was, when I was fighting at middleweight, I wanted to leave fight week at 200. So you got 6 weeks to lose. Yeah, you're good, mate. You're good. You're flying.
I'm good, mate. And I'm ripped. So it's always easier to lose water from the muscles than it is to cut fat. So that's a good thing.
I was going to say you're looking very gaunt. You're looking very, very slim in the face,
very
mate.
Gaunt.
You're looking like a fucking... Go on.
A split lip. Someone's giving me a split lip. Who the fuck done that?
Oh, how dare they try and punch you? But you sound like Luis J. Gomez when he's beating up his staff here because he was sparring in the park yesterday, battering his fucking staff. And how dare they hit back, Darren?
Yeah. It definitely wasn't Paul Kelly because he can't punch for shit. I hope he doesn't hear that. Okay,
We
no.
were just talking about cutting weight a minute ago because a couple of the competitors this past weekend missed weight. Let me ask you a question, because you're fighting right now. You're training for a fight. I was just saying that I sort of give fighters a little bit of a pass in this state because it's not with COVID and with everything shutting down. I feel like it's a little more difficult to do anything from, diet the right way to exercise the right way. Is there any truth to that, or is it just normal life for you?
Thank you.
No.
Let him answer, Bisping.
Basically, mate, right, and I'm renowned because I missed weight for Liverpool. You're a professional and you're a fighter and you should do your job and make weight. So that includes myself, Michael, and everyone else. So the bad thing about this thing is when a fighter's chatting shit about other fighters not making weight and then they don't make weight. That's why I never comment. When people ask me about fighters' personal lives and cutting weight, no, not really a comment, because like it could happen to you one day and you look like a fool. So that's why I don't like to really.
Yeah.
You're a professional and you should cut weight and make weight. And if you don't, that's on you, nobody else.
All right, well, let's fast forward back to your fight with Robert Whittaker there. Obviously, he was a champion for a while. He had those big fights with Yoel Romero. And I said at the time, I feel like, those big wars like that, they do definitely take the toll on the body. But where do you see Robert now, looking at his last fight with Adesanya, that wasn't a good performance. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting either amazing Rob, or I'm expecting Rob that doesn't believe in himself so much anymore. So I'm preparing for either or. Obviously, most fighters would say, well, I want the best Rob. No, I want the worst Rob. Make it easier for me.
Exactly. Fuck that.
Fuck. So I don't know what Rob we're going to expect. We've been having a good back and forth for a while now. It's been really, really fun. So whatever Rob comes, mate. All I know is I've been preparing during lockdown, and now I'm preparing while, maybe it's coming to an end, maybe it's not, but Fight Island's on the horizon. Got 6 weeks, mate, to fight for 5 rounds.
Well, I mean, speaking of which, you were originally supposed to fight UFC Dublin, which is right there for you. How much of an inconvenience is, or I shouldn't say inconvenience, what's really the difference for you having to fight on Yas Island? Are you excited, or is it a little more difficult?
Well, the big difference is that over there now, in July, is the hottest month they have. They actually get told not to go out and drive because the petrol tanks will overheat and explode. So we need to be out there early. So I'm lucky for me, I've got my management company out there in Dubai. If I can go out a few weeks before to Dubai and accustom, I will. I'm sort of in the attitude, whatever it takes attitude right now, because I'm in touching distance of that title and I know I am. So whatever it takes type of attitude. I was only just recently saying it to the lads in the gym this morning, whatever it takes.
What do you think is going to happen in that fight, Adesanya and Costa? I've got a feeling, that's a tough fight for Adesanya, the way Costa comes forward and swings like that. What do you think? I
think Costa's got a really good chance of winning, but I think he telegraphs his shots, and I think he's a bit slower than Adesanya, so maybe Adesanya can pick him off. But I wouldn't, if you wanted me to bet on that fight, I wouldn't bet. I think it's a 50-50 fight right now.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a good fight. All right. Enough of that. I want to know. I've been dying to ask you this. What the fuck's going on with you and Mike Perry? Because you got a fight. You've moved on from welterweight, right? You're fighting Robert Whittaker. That's a big fight. That should have all your attention. He's a tough opponent. I love Robert, by the way. But you're still fucking going at Mike Perry to the point where you started, what is it? Mike Perry is a bum.com, which is fucking hilarious. But come on, talk. What is happening?
I'm just the troll king, mate. Like, we was chatting, me and Mike. Like, I don't know if he's being serious. There's the things we was chatting, like, in the DMs, and it was, good fun. Yeah, let's have a bit of beef. And then I don't know if I took it too far because I said I was going to raw dog his girl, but he just must have took it serious. And then, like, he blocked me. I was like,
no, he blocked you. Get fucked.
Yeah, wait a minute, time out.
He blocked me off Instagram. Do you not see on my post? I posted about it. I was like, Mike, really? God. You blocked me. So I made another account and I started like commenting raw dog. He blocked that account. I made another account. Rod, he's blocked him. I can't see his shit no more.
Dude, Darren, that is so. Wait a minute. So you set it up with him initially. You guys agreed, like, hey, let's fucking trash talk.
No,
Let's have some fun.
Me and Ariel was having a bit of back and forth because I said to Ariel, let's keep everyone interested while lockdown's happening. Let's have a bit of beef. And then it was the same with Mike. You know, we were just having a bit of back and forth. And then, you know, maybe because he's got a new girl or whatever, he took it to heart. Like, I don't take nothing to heart, mate. You could say what you want about me. Until you lay hands on me, it's fun. So I just said that Raw Dog is girl, and the whole fan base just jumped on it. Like, them English fans, mate, they're just rough, mate. So,
but why can't he simply just say back to you that he's going to Raw Dog your girl and you guys are even?
Well, he did. He said he's going to kick me mum in the face and fuck her, and I was just like, go for it, mate.
That's way worse.
I'm going to say it's not a bad response. It's pretty fucking strong.
Response. You know, go for it. I'll help you as well, mate. Come on, you know.
Hold on, you're going to help him bang your mum?
Kick your mum.
You're going to help him bang that? Darren, come on, mate. Steady on, pal. Fuck me.
Mate, there's no limits when you want to chat that shit, mate. He needs to know, but, you know, I shouldn't have said a Raw.
Nah, listen, you
know.
Well, you're only having a laugh, but you know how it is when you first get with a new bird.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you get with her, the first few months you're in that honeymoon phase, you love her, and they're in love. Apparently, she's going to be cornering him in his fights going forward. Which make of that what you will. But he was like, "That's his new girlfriend. He's heavily in love right now," and he's like, "She's off limits. You crossed the line, Daz. What the fuck, mate?"
Well, this is fighting, mate, and I don't think there is a line, and that's if that was Rob, let's say Mike Perry's attitude and personality was in Rob, there ain't no line to be crossed, I don't think, mate. You know, I think kids, that's a line you don't cross, okay. I think I've seen one fighter cross that line. I think it was Colby. I think he crossed the line, but same again for me, it doesn't cross the line, but with many it must do. But it's fighting, mate. But a lot of people said to me, they were like, Darren, knock it in the head now, he's fucking pretty unstable. So I did, but then I created Darren till 3 and Raw Dog, and it's just, you know, it's fucking hilarious.
Well, you know, we're going to name this episode Raw Dog now. So
it'll kill him off.
Oh, yeah, don't, because I think he's coming on the show as well. So
okay, no, please
back
don't.
a little bit. Well, and he was going to. He's probably... Oh, go on.
If he sees me, he might want to fucking have a fight. Oh, I need to be on guard. You know,
hey, I'll be honest. There's a good possibility because, you know, he is a fucking wild man. That's for sure. Mike Perry's...
but, hey, mate, you know where I come from, mate. You know you know I'm about that life.
Hey, fucking right, mate. Me and you both, mate. Bring it fucking on any day of the week. So what else is going on, Darren? What's happening in your life? What can you tell us?
It's changed, mate. It's just changed now for camp. You know how camp life is, mate. You were one of the fittest fighters I ever seen fight. So you know basically that it's wake up, train, sleep, train, and what else can you do? So what I was in lockdown, I was enjoying it. I was having a good bit of fun. But now Colin, he's really on me hard, mate. He's really on me hard.
Yeah, well, that's what you got to do. You know what I mean? No pain, no gain, as they say. Lewis, what are you going to say?
Whatever it takes right now to do anything.
Sorry, my son just walked in. He went to the DMV. He's been trying to get his driver's license. So that's why I got a little distracted there. He just walked in. And to use the phrase, you'll know, he had a fucking major cob on. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, he's failed his driving test again. So I'm trying to get his attention. I'm like, good. Was it good? And he's just stormed off. So I think that tells me everything, what he needs to fucking know. He's had a car on the driveway for 2 fucking years. I'm like, get your license, you dickhead. Come on. Sorry, mate. Went off on a tangent there. Go on, Lewis. You were saying something.
Well, no, I mean, I think that I just think it's sort of like interesting training within this quarantine. Have you had any difficulties training at all? Have you had to make any major adjustments, or is it sort of like normal life?
No, normal life for me. I'm gonna go as far as to say I've enjoyed it because I don't know. I've just life is so hectic, and we all just take so many things for granted, and now it's just like lockdown has become a part of normality, and I've enjoyed it. I really have enjoyed it, and I don't know for other people, but when it first started happening, I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, you should be doing this while it's on," or "You should be doing this," and I just felt like saying, "You can do whatever the fuck you want because no one knows what's going on. So don't you tell someone that they should be training or bettering themselves because they're probably worried as what's happened. My mother's just lost a job." So don't sit there and tell people what you should do. I could, but I choose not. I could look at the success I've had in my life, but I choose not to. Live and let live. And you know, maybe some people are worried. Maybe some people want to train to get through it. Maybe some people just want to chill with the family, eat good food, and whatever you choose to do, mate. That's entirely up to you. I won't be the person to say you should be training, you fat cunt. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah, but if you've got a fight lined up, you should be training.
to
be fair,
you should be eating and training. So you know,
well,
some
yeah. Hey,
guys,
listen.
mate.
Whatever makes you happy. And, you know, to your point, because we were just talking about this before you came on, about people missing weight. And he was saying, well, conditions are different right now with the COVID. And you agreed with what I was saying. It's bullshit. You can still get out your house and go for a fucking run. You only need a couple of people to train for a fight. You need a coach and a couple of good sparring partners. And if you're overweight, go and fucking run. It's not hard. So there's no excuses, in my opinion.
One thing when you was fighting, Mike, you was always fit, in shape and ready and never missed weight. You know, if you miss weight, it's simple. It's because of you. And because I missed weight in Liverpool, I did have a severe emergency, but I still came out and went, listen, I missed weight, my fault. It's all she wrote. That's it. End of story. There's no excuses. There never will be excuses.
Yeah, well, no, that's the way it goes sometimes. I mean, you were clearly fighting at the wrong weight class. Just like I was at the start. I started at 205. I was a little undersized. And when I lost my first one, I'm like, you know what? While Rashad Evans was killing himself in a sauna, I was sat with a bunch of fucking assholes from Liverpool that shall remain nameless. I didn't know what the fuck they were doing, eating fucking noodles and drinking 7-Up. I was like, okay, wasn't exactly making the sacrifices I could be making. So, you know.
And it paid off. It paid off.
Yeah.
I wanted to just ask Darren, because you know you're a new father, right? You didn't have any other kids before the one that was just born, correct?
No, you got two, right, Darren?
I have 3 girls.
Ooh, never mind. I apologize. Wow,
fucking way off.
And the rest.
Who knows how many more are out there? To be honest,
you see my head just switch there. You see blue lights go past. I was like, "Fuck, get down! I'm not even doing nothing wrong."
Change the subject. So when do you get out to Dubai? Because I'll be there, mate. I'm commenting. Well, not Dubai, Abu Dhabi. I might see you out there. I don't think I'm commentating your one though.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to Dubai, man. Because I said I do want to acclimatise to the weather, because we're gonna get out there. And it's gonna be such a shock to the system. I've been there many times. Don't remember because you know. Sorry, just getting calls coming through. Let me just.
Yeah, you're good, mate.
Get my thing. One sec. So back on now.
Yeah, you're back.
So I'm going to try and get out there as soon as possible, because I just want to acclimatise. My management said I can come out with the family and all the guys from the gym and their family, so we'll go and make a good experience. It's not going to be like, I remember when my camp was in Vegas, you know, before I fought Woodley, and it just wasn't enjoyable. The whole experience was revolved around me just cutting weight and training as hard as I've ever trained in my life, and now if we'd be out there, we'd be eating good, we'd be training good, we'd be in good mindset. So if I can get out there 4 weeks before, mate, you know, perfect.
Yeah, because what they're saying is when you get to Yas Island, you get tested before you get on. And then once you're on there, you can't leave. It's going to be fighters, coaches, and UFC staff. Do you know what I mean? So you want to leave that to the last minute, because that sounds pretty boring anyway. It sounds like a fucking prison. Yeah. But you're right what you said, because a lot of fighters, when they're getting ready for a fight, it becomes about making weight. And it shouldn't be about that. I see so many fighters, and I was guilty of it myself sometimes. When I let myself get way too fat, I remember sometimes at middleweight, I get up to 235, you know, what's that? That's like 108 kilos, something like that. Do you know what I mean? Fucking far too heavy, but it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty, mate. I was fat. And then the entire camp just becomes about making weight, not winning the fucking fight. You're stepping on the scale. That is not the winning of the fight. That's just, okay, now I can fight. The fight is on, you know? I think we need to do away with the weight cutting, to be honest.
I agree. I do agree. I agree with that.
You sound like you fucking had a few babies there, mate. He said, I agree. You good there, Darren? What's going on?
You look like you've had a few cheeseburgers, you fucking...
Don't fucking start me, Darren. I'm living the happy life, you fat cunt. I saw pictures of you recently with your belly sticking out. Come on, leave off, you bastard.
UFC posted it. They fucking done me dirty.
I saw that your belly popping out. That's what they do, mate. You got to watch them. You got to watch. All right, listen, we'll let you go here. We'll let you go in a minute, mate. Anything else you want to say about Mike Perry or anybody, Robert Whittaker? What's going on?
I want to apologise to Mike if he's offended. I'm sorry. I will stop the road on him.
I'm so. Oh, you're talking about Mike Perry. I thought you were talking about me, Mike Perry. Well, that's very nice.
Mike Perry, I'm sorry. And, you know, through all the bullshit, I know I've annoyed the fucking life out of Rob Whittaker since this started. And he's a good sport. I just, the best man's going to win. The best man is going to win. And may the best man win that night and go on to, you know, I believe I'm going to win and go on to win the title. But many things can stand in front of that. So may the best man win.
Yeah, well, Robert's a great guy. He's one of those guys.
Yeah,
he is. He's an awesome fighter. He's a blue-collar guy, works his fucking ass off. So you can have a bit of fun with him, but with a guy like him, you can't push it too far because he's just not a dick. He's just a good person.
Yeah, of course. He's a nice guy.
And that makes it a little boring, though, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? Because it does. It makes it hard.
If it was Mike, it'd be fucking pay-per-view, sellout, you know what I mean? But obviously, it's still going to be a great watch fight, but sometimes it's nice to have that bit of, you know what I mean, Mike?
Yeah,
you tried it with him and he just didn't want to know. He was like, all right, Mike, great fight, mate. You were just
I remember I've told this story before on here, but then when him and Yoel fought, I was supposed to go in and challenge the winner, right? Everyone says I ducked fucking Yoel. If Yoel would have won that fight, I would have challenged him, but he lost. So I go in there and I'm standing there and there's Robert Whittaker and we got no beef. He's a lovely lad. And I go in and he's standing there and he's got a fucking belt around his waist and I'm thinking the nerve of this little cunt. I'm the fucking champion. He's standing there with the belt on and he's looking at me and he's a little bust up and he's all sweaty and he's all veins because he's just done 25-minute rounds. I'm like, are you fucking snarling at me, you cheeky bastard? So I throw my belt down on the floor. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, just like in the moment, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? But that was as good as it got. And he still didn't even say boo then. He didn't say nothing.
No, he was like, just nice guy, and he didn't say anything.
Hell of a fighter, though. You can't underestimate him.
Yeah,
he did.
He is.
I don't think he showed up for the Adesanya fight, though.
No.
Not taking away from Adesanya, not taking away from him.
Of course.
You know, Adesanya did what he had to do, but I thought his game plan of just trying to lunge in with that big left hook, I feel like, you know, that wasn't the smartest.
I hope the fuck he doesn't show up for my fight either. Easy win, easy money.
I think that's why people like you so much, Darren, because that is very honest to say. And of course, that's what everybody, because you say, oh yeah, I want the best version. Yeah, I want him to come in. I want him to have the shittest weight cut. I want him to fucking have a bit of diarrhea on the day, you know.
Mike, this is the real sport, so why not be real? Fuck, I'm never going to do it. I don't care, you know, what gets said. Sorry. These phone calls just don't stop coming through.
Very popular.
I don't care what gets said, you know, I don't care as long as I can stay true and tell the truth. I want the worst Robert on the night. The best probably going to show up, but I want the worst. Why do I not want the worst? It's fucking better for me.
You were also very honest about Romero. You were just about sort of just how scary he is. And you just don't hear fighters typically talk that way. It's like, put any man in front of me. And you were just like, I think it is very refreshing to hear a fighter sort of talk the way the fans talk.
Of course, just I'm a not when I was FaceTiming Mike, I was sat there as a fan, like with my friends, just like, oh, he's a great fighter, isn't he? And I'm a fan when I'm not a fighter, you know. I'm just sat there, you know, whatever. So I just keep it real, kick back. All my friends are just like crazy UFC fans. They love it, and that's so. We're just the same. I'm not going to change my persona because I've come on this show and this tough guy or this, that, the other. Save that for another time.
Yeah. Well, next time you FaceTime me when I'm commentating, I'll pick up for sure, mate. This Saturday, if you want to do my fucking head in, go ahead for it. But all right, we'll let you go, Darren. Thanks for coming on, mate. Much appreciated.
Appreciate it, mate.
Nah, mate. No, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
See you out there in Dubai or Yas Island, mate.
Of course. Yes, Mike. Thanks, Lewis. Appreciate it, mate.
Darren. Good luck, my brother.
Boys.
All the best for the next 6 weeks, Darren. Take care.
Thank you.
Darren Till. Great guy. It was the third time I think coming on the show at this point.
I think that's the third time, but I'm still really calling me a fat bastard.
He called you fat. You were not happy. I saw your face. I was like, uh-oh.
I'm like, all right, don't make me come out of retirement because I'll use that 6 months in the testing pool to get slim again. Okay? I can be back in shape in no time, and he has inspired me because he'll be there at Yas Island, even though it's so hot that you can't fucking, take your cars out. He'll still be out shirtless, getting burnt to fuck because he's from Liverpool and he's not acclimatized to the sun. but he'll still be shirtless. And I will take my top off. We will have a face-to-face, head-on, top off, square up, let's go. Who's looking better? So there you go. See the top of the show? I need something to train for. Ooh.
This is it.
6-pack face-off. Let's go.
Oh, man. Darren Till, very cool. Good luck to him. It's hard to not, root for these guys because I like Robert Whittaker as well. You know what I'm saying? When you get somebody on the show like that, it's like I really want him to win. I feel bad saying that. We're having I'm friends with Mickey Gall, and he's fighting Mike Perry, actually. And now we're having Mike Perry on, and I feel weird because, like, how do you approach it? Like, I'm legitimately friends with Mickey, and I don't want to fucking...
Yeah, no. It's a tricky one, especially when you speak to them all the time. Like Robert Whittaker, honestly, one of the nicest guys, and I'm a big fan of him as a fighter and as a person, and you wish him the best. And certainly when, he was a champion and he handled himself so well and he put on such great performances. All right, Adesanya took him out pretty easy. Adesanya smoked him, whether it was the perfect Adesanya or a bad Robert Whittaker, whatever. You still want to see these people do well, right? Especially when there's someone that handles themselves with class. You want to see them rebound, and that's part of the, they always say, you're not a true champion. You get defeated and then you come back and get your belt back, and you never know. We might see that from Robert. But at the flip side, Darren Till, he's a mate. He's from Liverpool. He's from my neck of the woods. We've got a lot of the same friends, and we've got a similar sense of humor. So it's, as Darren said, may the best man win. That's a hell of a fight. Can't wait for that one. Quick side note, Callum passed his driving test, or not his driving test, is the theory side. Now he has his permit. Now we can actually learn to drive. But just a little correction there. Should we do we have any questions?
Yeah, I got time for maybe one.
All right, let's do a little fan question and wrap this baby up.
Plug away real quick. Go to our iTunes 5-star ranking, positive review, subscribe there, Google Play, Stitcher, wherever you download podcasts. You can grab the latest 30 episodes of the show. YouTube page, obviously subscribe there. Click subscribe and click the little notification button. That means you get a notification every time our new show is premiering on YouTube as well. And you can get the entire on-demand library, every episode of the show that we've ever done, uncensored, ad-free, with pre-release at gasdigitalnetwork.com. Use the promo code BYM. Get a 14-day free trial. If you want to join the conversation, bympod@gmail.com is the email address. You can send us your fan questions, fan art, songs, fucking poster ideas, T-shirt ideas, anything you want to send. If we like it, we will show it on the show.
Boom. All right. Brian's been very quiet this show. Brian, are you there? Are you alive?
Yeah, what's up, man? How are you?
Well, I just want to hear your voice quickly, but, I'm sure the people do. How you been? Everything good?
I'm doing all right, Mike.
Yeah.
My
there
neighbor
he is.
Isn't more shot.
Good to know.
That's nice. He's the same dead?
Same dead.
Same dead. And what about the neighbor on the other side? Alive and kicking?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. It's like Asian church family. There's like kids coming in and out. I don't even ask questions.
Yeah, none of your business. Okay, fair enough. So you're good. Glad to hear it. Question: what do we have, Brian? Who are they from, and what do we have?
I got a question here from Jesse Leggy.
Ah, the old Jesse Leggy.
That's how you pronounce his name.
Hey, Lewis. This is Jesse from Canada. I hope this video is better than the other guys. That was ridiculous. You guys have mentioned this before, but I'd like to expand on it. Would you guys do a jiu-jitsu tournament for charity that was just podcast people? So I made a little bracket. It's Brendan Schaub versus Michael Bisping, Brian Callen versus Luis Gomez, Matt Serra versus Joe Rogan, Jim Norton versus Jamie. Winner gets bragging rights, and the proceeds going to the winner's charity of choice. Fighters fight fighters, comedians fight comedians. I don't think we should do comedian fighter. I think it would end too well. It would end too bad. Don't want to see Mike break Lewis's arm or something like that. Okay, thanks for your time.
Interesting. Good question. Well delivered. Hat on. I'm not keen on those hats, but whatever. He pulled it off. He looked good. He rocked it. The aviators were a solid match. I like what he did there, though, because when he first said it, I was like, oh, God.
Another one.
But the matchups, they were solid, right? Because me versus Brendan with the MMA fighters, that's, it's a logical matchup. You versus Callen, again, he's a skinnier, weak, pathetic type of, pardon me?
Do you beat Brendan Schaub in jiu-jitsu? Because he's a jiu-jitsu guy, I thought, right?
Yeah, I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I've been doing jiu-jitsu since I was 8 years old. Trust me, I got a few moves. But they put you against Brian Callen again. Weaklings, not much training.
I'm very tough. And Brian Callen, he may be 75 years old, but he's pretty ripped.
Feeble, But then they put her against Rogan, against Matt Serra. Matt Serra's the fucking top of the food chain jiu-jitsu guy. Rogan, similar build, black belt in BJJ. Solid matchup as well. And then what was the last one?
Jim Norton and Rogan's producer, Jamie.
There you go. I mean, that's good matchmaking. You know what I mean? Because every match is a solid competition. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Look, I'd be down for charity, for life. You guys know me. I'm always game. But I think, honestly, the problem would be Rogan. Rogan definitely fears Matt Serra. You
think so? Oh, there's Darren. Tag me in something on Insta. Oh, got it. Yeah, no. But would you do that against who you up against? Brian Callen. Come on, you do that.
Of course I would. But they remember the entire fake podcast beef started off with their shot that they took across the bow when Schaub said, "I'd be embarrassed if you took an Ellis Mania fight to Brian Callen." That's where it all started. They alluded, and then we were like, "Well, we don't allude, baby boy. We fucking come at you."
Maybe you're just being paranoid.
No.
Maybe you're just being paranoid.
I was the only comedian fighting in Ellis Mania.
Yeah, but what was the context of how we said it?
They said, Jason Ellis, the one guy said Jason Ellis offered me to fight at Ellis Mania. And then he was like, "Callen, would you do that?" And Callen was like, "I don't know." And Schaub was like, "I'd be embarrassed if you did that."
Brian, at that point, when we haven't had these for a while, they've dropped off the little sound bites. We used to have a little nugget there. "I'd be embarrassed if you did that." Is it because we're not at the studio? What's going on with the sound bites there? I agree with you, Mike, and all that type of stuff. I did get a little kick out of them. Brian, I love you, Brian. I love you, buddy. But come on, sound bites. What do you call them? Sound bites?
Brian from Gas Digital is calling me right now, which means I have no idea what's going on.
I would assume that means he's not logged in. He says beep, but he's not there.
Is it still recording? Brian, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? My computer just blue screened to death. I have no idea what happened. I need 2 minutes to boot it back up.
Well, we can just end the show. Did we lose the episode? Because Harrington's still recording, right? Please just tell me we didn't lose the episode.
I'm going to tell you in a minute. I need to get my computer back on, but Harrington should still have recording.
Yeah, I see a flashy red in this corner that says recording.
Harrington, do you have the recording?
Yeah, I got the recording.
Jesus Christ, Harrington! If you didn't have the recording, we were gonna have some problems.
I just really hope my computer doesn't unplug in the next minute.
Harrington, you're our only hope.
Don't unplug it. That's all you got to do. Make sure your mom, your dad, whoever's in there, don't walk in and unplug the computer. Okay, and I think on that note.
We need to end the show and make sure that Harrington does not delete this recording because he's the only backup now.
Oh, my God. He's going to delete it. I know for a fact he gets everything wrong. No offense, Harrington. I build you up. I don't knock you down. But please, if you don't upload this, I will knock you down.
Ooh. Hello? Harrington?
I'm still here.
He's so nervous. He's sweating. Look at his voice. When he speaks in a higher register like that, you know that he's nervous.
I'm just waiting for you guys to end the show. I'm going to press
stop recording.
It's going to be fine. It's going to be fun.
So I'm going to hang up now, and I'm not going to get a text back in like an hour where they say, "Ooh, we got to redo the show."
Oh, I'll be so upset. This was a good show.
It was a great show. Darren Till was awesome, and thank you very much, Darren, for joining us. Best of luck in the next 6 weeks. Your training camp, big fight, Robert Whittaker. And yeah, thanks for listening to the show. We do appreciate you. Thank you.
Sorry, years ago, I lost before I was getting guests on the show. I got Pat Barry when he was in the UFC and Rose Namajunas before she was fighting in the UFC. This is years and years and years ago. And I did a great interview with them. And right at the end of it, I kicked out the power source that was on the MP3 recorder and lost it all.
So technically, if Harrington did that, he could be excused because you've done it. The great Luis J. Gomez has done it. All right, that's us. We'll be back with another show. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. All the best.